Hello again, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani here on this Wednesday afternoon. Now we're being joined by one of the top contenders in the 135-pound division, the man who will be meeting Cory Sandhagen this Saturday at UFC 250. Aljamain Sterling, the Funk Master, is back. It's been a year, and he's back in action on Saturday. Aljo, how are you?
Feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for asking. You've been in Las Vegas for a while, right? Since before the last event.
No. I was for the event that was Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero. I was out here for 2 weeks, and then I went back home, did my
Oh
training
no,
camp.
that was like
And
9 months ago. I'm talking about like the Woodley Burns fight you've been in Vegas for,
oh no,
right?
oh yeah. Actually, I was Thursday. I got in Thursday.
How come you got in so early?
I don't know. I fought here a couple of times, and I think the difference with the heat, I think it really does kind of play with you a little bit. It's different from the humidity back home and feeling the Vegas heat in your lungs. There's nothing like it, So get out here, get a little bit acclimated with the sleep schedule. Man, last night I was tossing and turning nonstop, just mainly because of a lot of other things going on in the world, and obviously the weight cut. I just restless last night. But getting myself acclimated to the time zone change, I think it's definitely beneficial. It can't hurt. It can never hurt.
Could I ask? You're preparing for a very important fight. Potential title shot is on the line. You're cutting weight. There's a lot going on, right? You've been out for a year, wrist surgery, but then, as you just alluded to, there's so much going on, and it's hard to just ignore that. Of course, I would imagine for you. How are you feeling as you see these things? You're preparing for your fight, but it's impossible to ignore everything that's going on. This is obviously a very personal subject for you. How do you deal with it all right now?
I don't know. I'm just taking it day by day and just trying to get through it. You can't escape it. If you go on your phone, it's right there in front of your face. So it's an issue I talked about at length already, and it's a huge problem in this country, man. And it's sad that there's a lot of people who kind of try to downplay the severity of these issues that are going on and have been going on for decades. So uh, it's tough. I got a huge fight, and it definitely is a huge distraction. But at the end of the day, once I kind of go back to watching film and stuff and get ready for training, it kind of refocuses me, and I kind of able to drown out the noise a little bit. At night, it's a little bit different because you're just thinking about a ton of different things, how the fight might go, different situations, different scenarios, what you're gonna do when you get in this position. I'm like very cerebral when it comes to my approach and how I train and how I like to approach the actual fight.
So you have this situation where you're preparing for a fight, but you're also living in New York, not necessarily New York City, but you're on Long Island. New York obviously was, the epicenter in America for COVID-19. How difficult was it? And I saw on your social media, obviously you were able to train a little bit, but how difficult was it for you to actually train for this fight?
It was tough at first. My girlfriend, she had got sick, so when she got sick, pretty much no one was willing to train at the time. And then once I got word of the fight, then I let the guys know, and they weren't doing anything, So I think me getting the fight made everyone jump on board to just kind of get ready to prepare for battle. And I think it kind of remotivated everyone to use this downtime to train, and let's all push each other and get better. So the training was tough in the beginning because I was like the only one who was really like against the whole severity of the COVID-19, even though my girlfriend did have it. I just didn't think it was as crazy as it was played up to be in the media. I think a lot of things are loosely slapped with the COVID label, for lack of better words. And I think when you just kind of look at it, step back and look at all the information that's out there, obviously, if you're just looking at one news source, you're going to be pretty well influenced to believe whatever they're pushing towards you. So I think you have to do your own research and really try to get all the facts and different angles. It's like seeing what happened in an argument and only asking one side. You got to get both sides of the information, And I'm no doctor at the end of the day, but I like to use my own intuition and do my own research and have my own opinion. I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Mine might be stupid to you, but to me, it works. And I wish I got to train a little bit earlier. Not saying I'm not in shape or anything, but I just like to train, so to be able to just train would have been like my safe haven. So to finally get that back when everyone jumped on board, that was a big relief for everyone who kind of got the boys back together.
How's she feeling now?
Oh, way better. I mean, this was like March 16th. She was sick for all of a week.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say she was definitely bad, definitely bad. But she says there were some tough times, like walking up the stairs. Is like, she had to take a little bit of a breather because she was pretty exhausted.
Right.
She's young, she's fit, so I think that helped out a lot. And she doesn't have any other crazy health issues, where I think a lot of people who are older and they have those underlying health issues is a little bit more serious for those guys. So let me make sure I'm clear on that, because some people hear one thing and they just immediately tune out everything else that you say, and just, oh, you said this, I don't, you're crazy and whatever. People are wacky, man. People are wacky.
I feel like this fight should have been for the vacant title. I feel like after Cejudo retired, they should have just made this fight easy 1 month later for the vacant title. Why isn't it for the vacant title?
I don't know. I think Sandhagen's resume is better than Petr Yan's. Honestly, he beat Assuncao, beat Lineker. Who'd Petr Yan beat? The one common opponent that we had was Jimmy Rivera, and I think I beat him way more definitively than he did, and he's the one getting the push. He beat a guy who just came out of retirement, Uriah Faber. No disrespect to Uriah, but the old Uriah would take that shot and keep coming forward. But this is a different day and age. Father Time is undefeated, so for them to be giving him this kind of a push, it's really, I don't know the lack of better words. I guess a slap in the face, maybe just disrespectful to the entire division and the body of work that we're putting in. But at the end of the day, we can only control what we can do, which is going out there and performing and having a great fight. So I think I go out there and take care of Cory Sandhagen. I should be the next guy in line.
Have you been told that if you win this fight, you will finally get a chance to fight for the belt?
No, but I mean, I just can't see anybody else. What, they're going to have Frankie come down, fight Pedro, and then if Frankie wins, he gets the next shot? Or if Garbrandt beats Assuncao, he comes back and gets the next shot? What are we talking about? Like I don't know. Anything can happen. It's the UFC. It's Dana White, and he does some pretty questionable things sometimes with division. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they do the right thing and get the UFC back to being what made the UFC great. The best guys fighting the best guys while they're in their prime. Not that boxing shit where guys are avoiding each other for years and they're not making the tough fights that are the rightful fights based on the rankings. This is the one that needs to happen. So whoever wins this is going to be myself versus whoever wins that between Petr Yan and Jose Aldo.
What was your reaction when you found out that the Garbrandt Assuncao fight was above you guys in the bout order?
I laughed. I was like, well, I guess because Garbrandt's name is bigger than mine in terms of he's a former champion, he has a big following. But I don't know. It's kind of like, if we're going to go by following, then why not keep giving CM Punk fights against, I don't know, people that he can potentially beat? You know what I mean? And I like CM Punk, but this doesn't make any sense, man. Things are going backwards. I just hope they get back to, like I said, what made them great. But it's a good fight. Assuncao is still a tough dude. I wonder what his headspace is going to be. I think they probably think Cody can shine and knock him out because of how he was touched up by Sandhagen. And I do think Assuncao hits hard enough that he could probably catch Cody on the chin and knock him out. I think his chin is very suspect. So we don't know. We don't know what we're going to get. It's a very interesting matchup because of those factors that no one really understands. I know him and Pedro sat in the pocket and they banged it out. So someone had to go to sleep, So I don't know if he's going to necessarily go out there and do that again. That remains to be seen. But I'm very much in tune to watch what's going to happen between him and the Sean O'Malley with Eddie Wineland.
Do you believe that Henry Cejudo is retired?
For now, I do think he's retired for now. I think if they make him a good offer, or if a big fight comes up, and maybe even a big card, maybe like John Jones going up to heavyweight against DC, the trilogy, or John Jones versus Stipe, whoever is the champ. Maybe Cejudo decides to come back and they put on a super fight with him coming back, the former champion, taking on the current champion, which would be nice if it's me. I like those big that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Were you disappointed when you heard that he was retiring, or do you feel like, okay, now maybe the division can get back to normal?
I said good riddance. Good riddance. The clown show is over. But no, Henry's a tough dude. I respect him a lot and everything he's accomplished. But him being out of the picture makes it a little bit easier for the division to kind of get going again. But then they kept Aldo in the mix after coming off of a loss for the title, which kind of puts us back in limbo again. I think if they had just done Pedion and myself, or myself versus Sandhagen, things would have got the division moving the right way that it should have been, or even do a 4-man tournament like Sayudo suggested. But yeah, I would love to welcome him when he comes back, when he does decide to come back.
What do you think of Cory Sandhagen? I think he's looked really good in the UFC so far. Maybe a lot of people don't know who he is because he's not, very outspoken or flashy, but seemingly, one of the more talented guys in the division. What do you think of him?
I think he's a tough dude, well-rounded. Seems like a smart fighter. He seems like myself. He thinks while he's in there, like really trying to set up his shots and pick his openings. And I think that's what makes this fascinating, because it's going to be a real high-level chess match. And I think whoever makes the first mistake is going to be the one that gets opened up on first. So tough dude. Like I said, he has a tough resume. He beat a guy. We have a common opponent. He won on all 3 judges' scorecards against Assuncao. And he had a really good fight with John Lineker. Could have went either way. I wasn't sure which way that one was going to go. I still kind of watched that as tape, and I'm like, I don't know who really won the fight, but it was a good fight. So he showed some grit in that. We know he's tough. We know he's durable. He had his arm broken, pretty much dislocated against Alcantara. Came back and won in the second round. So I got my work cut out for me, and he's got his work cut out for him too.
How's the wrist? And when did you feel like it was 100% good to go, like no restrictions whatsoever?
I mean, it's never really, surgery. It's never going to
Yeah.
be 100%. But I got my strength back. That was the main thing. Getting in on these takedowns and not being able to lift guys up, because once they do a 2-on-1 on my hands, they just separate it because I can't hold on the grip. The joint was just really inflamed and damaged and beaten up from 4 years of me just pushing the pace and pushing the envelope, and I finally got it done. But it feels good. I'm holding positions. I made sure we tested that, make sure the grip was like vice grips again, kind of like back when I made my debut, man. I get my hands on you. It is a long night. I really do believe I'm like the 135-pound Khabib if I want to be, So, they say Khabib time. I think we're gonna see Funk time on June 6th. It's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show. I think I'm gonna drown Cory with pressure. He's gonna have to be fighting off a lot of takedowns and a lot of pressure, a lot of strikes, a lot of takedowns.
Will Longo and Sarah be in your corner?
No, I have Steve Lee, Dennis Bazukia, and Ali Quinta. Ali Quinta's been in my corner for the past few years, and obviously with the whole pandemic, those guys being a little bit older and things being a little bit more risky for them, this was an extenuating circumstance, So it would have been interesting to have them in the corner and see how loud they can get with no one in there with the face mask on. That would have actually been hilarious. But I got a good team behind me, man. These guys have been with me the entire training camp and day in and day out. So I'm excited about this, and I'm not concerned about not having them in the corner at all. I know what to do. I know how to fight. I'm a veteran. These guys know me, and we've already gone over the game plans, and I, pretty much gave them all the stuff that I like to be told when I'm coaching, when I'm being coached, So I'm excited.
I almost hate asking this question, but just because there's so much jockeying for position at 135, do you feel like you need to get a finish in this fight to assert yourself as the number one guy?
Yes and no. I think a finish is the definitive way to really stake my claim to challenge for the UFC gold. A dominant decision could be the same thing. Like, even I look back at the Pedro fight, that was the UFC posted that clip, and look how well the numbers did on that, man. It was just a fun, high-paced fight. If I could one up that performance, that would be something. So that's really all I can control. Go out there and be me and do what I do best and have fun, mix it up, and the rest will take care of itself. I just got to make sure that they don't forget me. And if the performance doesn't, get on the mic, talk my shit, and hopefully they'll give them enough soundbite to use for material to push for the next one.
You're gonna talk smack afterwards, right?
Oh yeah, you got to. This is the name of the game. This is the name of the game that we live in. People who know me outside of this, they know I'm a nice guy. But at the end of the day, to achieve my dreams, I gotta crush somebody else's. So it's a cutthroat sport, and may the best man win. And I pray that man is me on the night.
And finally, you've been in Vegas, like I said, for a while. What's it like there? Because it looks like it's slowly starting to reopen, but also not your typical Vegas, scene, so to speak, with tons of people, tourists, and whatnot. What has it been like for you, or have you been able to venture out?
Yeah, I hung out with TJ Lavin at his place down here for early in the fight week. That was cool. We chopped it up, talked a little real estate, talked about the fight game, talked about the protests going on and everything. So real informative, informational things just being passed on between everybody in the group. So that was cool. And yeah, everything's a ghost town out here, but still some people are out walking about. They had the protests out here as well. Being able to go to some restaurants. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and had a salad, watched the guys eat ice cream. That was fun to actually sit in a restaurant again. And
Yeah.
went to Town Square, went to a restaurant over there, and had me a little bit of a tequila, water and lime. And that put me right to bed. That felt good, so
Do you usually do that when you're cutting weight?
yeah, dude. I drink throughout training camp. Some people think it's like taboo, like you gotta go cold turkey. I'm like, dude, I've done both, and I do not feel a difference. I think whatever
Wow.
makes you feel good and gets you through, I think that's all it's about. Feel good, being in a good mental headspace. If I were to lose a fight because I had one tequila drink, dude, there's a bigger problem that I need to figure out.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the people's main event. It's, in my opinion, one of, if not the most interesting fights on this card. And I think it should have been for the vacant title. Who the hell am I? I think it should have been, second to last co-main event. Who the hell am I? But I'm looking forward to seeing you back. I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do against Cory Sandhagen. Thanks for doing this, Aljo, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thanks for having me, Ariel. And as always, tune into the show. The Funk Show is back, and like I said, man, Cory wants this. He's gonna have to take it from me because I'm ready to run that motherfucker over. So at the end of this, we can get a drink and chop it up and talk about how we punch each other. But for now, it's all business.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.